Hello everyone and welcome to week 3, day 3 of VALORANT Challengers North America presented by Zenny and Zipa. We had 2 very exciting days and we have one more day to go on this week, and we have 2 very important matches that are really gonna matter when it comes to those standings. But first of all, let me introduce my desk. I'm your host Dryad, and today I'm joined by Wyatt and Lemon Kiwi on the casting booth. And guys, first of all, we've had a lot going on this past 2 days. We talked about it. We're kind of halfway through this challenger split. A lot of matches that matter for either ending positive or for other teams ending negative, no matter what, no matter how those weeks are going to turn out. So Wyatt, let's take a look at how these matches have gone. Has there anything here that happened on day 1 and 2 that surprised you?
I think Thinking Men had a really good performance against Moy Shopify. That was closer than a lot of people would expect, and definitely closer than I expected.
Yeah.
QOR getting like a very clean 2-0 victory against YFP is pretty promising. But aside from that, I think most of the results pretty much as expected. You know, like TSM, M80, all that. Like, yeah, you know, the favorites took the wins there. Not a lot of close games this week, but I think that's going to change today, to be honest. I think both of these matches should be pretty close.
Yeah, but what's exciting is that M80 still haven't dropped a game. We were there, Dryad. Like, the perfect streak continues.
I was there.
We were there live.
Yeah.
And yeah, TSM had a good win. I was surprised that the Glazers M80 match wasn't a bit closer, since like I feel like the Glazers have become like the dark horse of their group. But yeah, M80 proved that they're on top, and Core got their first win. So it's nice to see everyone kind of make those improvements as we're halfway through our season.
It's nice to see the improvements, because we've talked about it. We've all seen every single team looking better and better. Even the teams that are the 0-3 teams that we have right now, the Glazers and Thinking Men, you do see them coming up with very close matches, like Wyatt was saying, having a close match against Moy Shopify and things like that. They give you good signs on how the teams are looking, but definitely trying to get those wins. But talking about today, we have 2 matches, and the first one is going to be SAD against Turtle Troop. And I think if there is a dark horse in this tournament, it has to be SAD. We heard a couple of the players talk about who they think is going to be top 4 in challengers overall, and a couple were saying SAD, a couple were not saying SAD. I think, Wyatt, this is a team that is very quiet but slowly getting those results, and against Turtle Troop is a big match for them, both of them being 1-1.
Yeah, me personally, I'm a SAD enjoyer. I've kind of been on the hype train for this team since watching them in the qualifiers. They have a lot of talented players that have been super under the radar for a long time. Bob, definitely not under the radar, but proving that, you know, she's really good. But more so some of the other players on the roster, like Darkest, I think has been a low-key great player for a long time now, but has just been hovering on teams that have not been able to make significant impact. So this is an opportunity for like a breakout kind of season, which I think has already been coming to fruition. Like some of those Reina games on Icebox going crazy coming to mind.
Yes.
I was just thinking that, like, Darkest Reina, that is what I want to see today. Had 2 4Ks on Icebox, so went crazy. Had a 4K on Lotus, although it was Viper, not as fun as Reina, but a 4K is what is the funnest part, and I think Darkest is my player to watch. And they got to get rid of this like sad thing, because you're saying you're a sad fan, but we want to be fans of happy. We want happy esports.
But happy's in M80. Well, it's fine.
Okay, it's fine.
Oh my god.
We have
Anyone else want to host? Do we have anyone waiting in the back?
Host of the year. Let's go.
Oh my. The Esports Award winner, host of the year.
You guys are talking about sad, about happy. Now let's talk about animals. We have Turtle Troop on the other side. And Turtle Troop, this is a team that is coming up and looking pretty good as well. I think there's high expectations, honestly, for this team when it comes to the names that we have. Corey being one of the players that everybody in the Challenger season from last year and even this year, everybody's talking about this guy. Everybody's talking about Turtle Troop, but the question is, can they get to those expectations? Can they even surpass those expectations? Why?
This team has not met expectations for me so far at all. This roster is way too good to be putting up the lackluster results that they've had so far. They have a great IGL who's super experienced in Stellar. Corey is a sick fragger, and he's still been this season. B-Dog is a player that, in my eyes, should have had a shot on a Tier 1 team already. I mean, this roster is, I think, pound for pound on paper, one of the best in Challengers, and I would like to see them meet the expectations that I think I have for them, but also just like the community generally, and I think their expectations as well. I mean, after their loss last week, I was seeing like Stellar and players being like that. I think Stellar said, like, word for word, like, that was just embarrassing. Like, they are not meeting their own expectations.
And that is what really matters the most, right? Not only the expectations of the community, which some players, some teams do care about a little bit, but mainly, and the main thing is doing your best and surpassing it and doing better for yourself and for your team each time. But one of the ways that they've been changing things up for these two teams has been the compositions, Wyatt. And I know you wanted to talk about the Sunset composition. Both of the teams, though, to be fair, are running very unique things.
Yeah, it was last week. Turtle Troop tried this Deadlock comp with a Brimstone on Sunset, and they had some interesting ideas with the Gravnet lineups, and Adder was actually the best with the Deadlock ultimate that I've seen any pro player been so far. But yeah, overall this comp wasn't doing it, and they did end up losing this game, but just shows that they're willing to be experimental.
And on the other side, there's also that, right? That there's that experimentation for Sad Lemon.
Yeah, it's cool to just see more Yoru in Challengers and kind of the emergence of Gecko. But I know when I was asking Wyatt, I was like, I'm filling in today for someone else, and I was like, oh man, these comps are out there when it comes to just what the general what the general teams are playing in Challengers. And Wyatt, you said this one wasn't too weird.
What? No. This
really?
one.
You said this is standard?
This one is
standard, but
this one is so bizarre. I mean, they're both weird. This one is unheard of. I mean, Gecko is just never played on Ascent, and Bob was going crazy, so that was pretty cool to see. And they were trying to do those like fun kind of combo plays with the Brim and the Yoru, where like your Yoru can ult, spot out players and ping them, and then the Brim will drop the nuke on them. And it actually worked a couple times. It was very cheeky, and it was catching off M80, to be honest. I mean, yeah, this Bob clutch was pretty sick. There was some good moments for sure. They kept it closer than it seemed like it would be.
It's interesting because, yeah, it's such a weird and different composition, and it's already weird from the beginning. It's already weird when you look at the Brimstone, but then you see the way that this Brimstone is being complemented, and you see a Yoru and a Gecko, so things definitely do get weird for these teams. But I feel like that has been the narrative for Challengers. A lot of teams are coming up and talking about, hey, we don't want to run the same things, everybody, and some of the players actually talking about it in the interview, saying one of the problems that we have in NA and Challengers is that everybody's running the same and kind of blindly doing it. We want to try to do something new, try to implement new things, and the way that you do that is through the compositions, and also having compositions and ideas that enable those star players, Wyatt. So let's talk about Corey first, because it is one of the players that we mentioned already, one of the players that have always been one of the ones that people talk about the most, and now in Turtle Troop has been having those opportunities to shine as well.
Yeah, so far, Corey has definitely been the best player on Turtle Troop, and also playing a ton of different agents as well, which is pretty interesting because you don't really associate Corey necessarily with like a ton of flexibility, but was playing really well on the Brim on their Sunset game. Has been playing Initiator, is playing Neon on Lotus, doing all types of different stuff, and has been really successful at all the agents.
Yeah, and Corey, I mean, I've watched him in different titles, and it's just great to see like the evolution of him as a player, as a person, and the way that his mechanics have transferred from other titles to still being a star here. I'm kind of surprised that he's not on a bigger team, but maybe that's just kind of what you said, Wyatt, of like this team should be producing better results with sort of the name value that they have. But Corey, I think definitely my player to watch. I think works very well as a team, as a duelist. He's not super aggro, and he works really closely with his initiators to fulfill goals. So I thought Corey is doing good, but I know he's capable of so much more.
And we've seen Corey show us different faces as well, primarily as a duelist, but sometimes with the KO, sometimes with the Sova. We've seen a little bit of everything from this guy, and I think this is something that he talked about last year. He's willing to do whatever is best for the team and fill that role that the team needs, which right now it seems to be continuing to be that duelist and sometimes that initiator. But on the other side, Wyatt, we do have Bob, and she is literally the queen. She has been being a difference maker for this team of SAD, and I love to see it. I think, again, and she is one of the reasons why SAD is kind of the dark horse that we have in Challengers.
Bob went crazy last week against M80, the game on Ascent, playing Gecko, dropped like 24, was making that a close game, had a crucial 1v3 clutch, always good on the Sova. I mean, was a great player when she initially came to NA with the Sonics, and then had that, run with C9 White in Game Changers, won a couple tournaments, and is now back in Challengers in the main scene, and is just proving that she is like absolutely one of the best initiators that we have in the league right now.
And it's a cool story as well to have, right? Like you said, all the way back to Sonics, then Game Changers, and now trying to find that sort of consistency in Challengers. And she's the only player that we have that has played in Game Changers that is playing right now. So it's a big highlight, and it's great to see her getting to this and hopefully getting more of those wins. But it's not going to be easy, right, against Turtle Troop. Let's take a look at how those maps are going to shape up as well, because that's really going to matter on those compositions that we talked about, on those star players being able to shine, Lemon. And we have Ascent, Sunset, and Lotus to close us out.
Yeah, SAD picks Ascent, I think solid. They're 1-on-1 on the map. They went close to M80, but were very dominant against Winthrop. Sunset, which is TTR's pick, they lost to Winthrop, but that was close. But I know why we were especially excited about these maps, because that's when we saw some deadlock. I think especially on, was it Ascent? No, not Ascent. On Sunset. We were just talking about the deadlock on Sunset.
Yeah, and Ascent is the SAD comp that was really wild. Also, just a small note on Ascent, it's interesting that Turtle Troop, they get to pick the side, but they picked attack first on Ascent. I mean, typically you just kind of want to start defense because you can run up so many rounds on the better side. So it'll be interesting to see what they have, in that regard, what they're kind of planning on attack there.
And that has to be the plan around the composition, right? When you get to study this composition. And honestly, yeah, like you said, the problem with picking Ascent is that the enemy team is going to pick that defensive side, which has proven to be the strongest. But yeah, as composition change, as the meta gets to evolve a little bit in that sense, you do get different ideas and different ways to approach this attacking side that teams have found successful, Lemon. So we're going to see how this is going to turn out. And Lemon, I do want to ask you, what was your prediction for this one?
Are we exposing that? I think most of us were going SAD, because I think they're really trying to fight for that number 2 spot against, was it TSM or something? But Turtle Troop have a lot to prove. I know they've upset their father Wyatt when it comes to producing results. So Turtle Troop have to bounce back. Look at that shake.
Just shaking my head. I know they can be so much better. And maybe they will be today. Maybe this is when they turn it around. I mean, that you take a tough loss like they did last week, they feel, bad about that loss, like to the extent that they were saying they were embarrassed about it. That could be enough to light a fire and turn things around. But based on what I've seen so far, I went with SAD. They just look better than Turtle Troop, straight up. So unless Turtle Troop, they turn it around here, which they certainly may, SAD are my pick.
I think for that prediction, the Knights post, I put Turtle Troop, but I do think out of all the matches that we had this week, this is the one where I find both of the teams being the most even. And I think Turtle Troop, they come from different places, right? Turtle Troop, high expectations to start the season and then kind of going down, and then sad. People not really knowing this team too much, maybe knowing a couple players, right? But then the expectations kind of going up. And like you were saying, Lemon, this is a big match because the only team that is 2-1 right now from that Group B is actually TSM. Everybody else is 1-2 or 0-3, like we talked about for the Glazers. So being that the team that also ends up in that at least third position is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and I think Turtle Troop have to start watching their back a little bit. I know we're only halfway through the season, but it depends if you're a glass half full, glass half empty type of person, because the Glazers, yes, they're 0-3, but they've gone really close against a bunch of teams, and the Glazers are trying to overtake either Winthrop or Turtle Troop, in order to not get relegated. Only one team per group gets relegated, and I really think the Glazers can make those improvements to maybe overtake Turtle Troop and Winthrop, but it all depends on how they perform this week. Didn't go so well for Winthrop yesterday, but Turtle Troop, I would say it's a must win just to not fall too far behind.
It's a big match for both of the teams, and it's a big map of Ascent as well to start us up that can really determine the way that this match is going to continue to go. Let's jump into the agent select to see if we're going to continue seeing these couple weird things with the Yoru, with the Brimstone, with the Gecko, or maybe there's a chance that it's going to be something new, and guess what? It might just get weirder.
Yeah, I mean, they have the same comp as last week. And Turtle Troop, last time they played this map, it was a while ago. They were just playing the default comp with the KO Yom and all that stuff, right? Yeah, they've gone with the Deadlock here as well. They're just leaning into this agent period, which is interesting. And they have a Cypher, which is also a weird Sentinel pick on this map. I mean, you just see the KJ like 95% of the time. It'll help get the info that they're lacking from playing Deadlock as a Sentinel. And then they just have a Sova, no secondary initiator for info. This is going to be interesting, but certainly that Turtle Troop comp could be sick on defense.
On defense, right, with this double Sentinel, unheard of, unseen before Turtle Troop, but I do love to see these two teams running something new, something different, and I'm very excited to see how this match is going to shape up. Lemon, also give us your thoughts on this one.
Oh, God. I haven't casted Deadlock yet, but I'm excited to see the cooking happening, because I know you were like, it's weird, maybe it's not weird, it is Challengers, this is where you experiment, right?
To go back to also, I noted that Turtle Troop chose to start on attack, and they're playing a double Sentinel comp, which again, you would just think that when you have the opportunity to pick sides and you're running two Sentinels, that you'd want to start on defense to just, kind of go crazy, but that is not the case. Very interesting decision, to be honest.
Well, we're going to see, I guess, how that's going to go. Both these teams are tied 1-1, tied for the third place, and it's the race for that second seed. Will SAD be able to overtake TSM? Will Turtle Troop kind of get to the middle of the standings? But wow, this is already a quick, aggressive defense out of SAD to take mid control.
Yeah, SAD were doing this a lot against M80, where they push and try to pinch B tiles, and that's going to trigger Turtle Troop to just immediately go into A.
Yeah, surging onto A, but Skarn with 2, and does put initial damage into Turtle Troop, but things evened up. 3 versus 3, spike planted. Corey wants to go through this door as the smoke comes down, so does he. And SAD still hoping to retake, needing to break down this door. This Deadlock util is very annoying to work with.
Yeah, the bit of a time waster. Bob has some good utility for this retake, though. That just need to come over top, and the Aftershocks are going to force Weeded out of hell.
Oh, he seems to be staying put in the smoke now. Okay, Darkest just goes and kicks him in the face. Nobody left from Turtle Troop now, and the defuse goes through. So SAD, I mean, swinging for the fences in pistols.
That was a very cool defensive setup from SAD. They had that initial push down mid with Skarn, and then Skarn was able to TP over to A. So expecting that the reaction would come in from Turtle Troop to just immediately hit A, given that there were so many of the defenders in mid and that B area, right? So just having the TP there to immediately get to the site and anchor, that's a very heads-up play.
And Skarn, who got like a double kill, already messed things up. Turtle Troop are panicking. But at least the spike was planted, but now, next round, sad. Seeing the Cypher Cage just trying to spray through it. Turtle Troop thinking about going, well, not going anywhere. They've kind of left the spike behind, so just a normal default.
Yeah, Turtle Troop buying up 2 Sheriffs, which again, sad. Honestly, a risk, because Darkest uses the Outlaw a lot. If I'm playing against Sad on eco rounds, I'm just full classics. Like, you need the full armors against this team. They don't happen to have it now, but still, such a risk.
Okay, Turtle Trooper like setting up a trap play. Sad even threw the clone out and nobody bit on that. So Turtle Troop redirecting towards mid. No smokes, but trying to be as quiet as possible. And at the back of market is Darkest, who's just jumping around, trying to get sights in his wall big Stellar. That's kind of crazy. And is putting damage down. Turtle Troop now reassessing and being even slower, but knowing that there's 2 people back there, at least 1 person back there. You gotta deal with it, and Skarn has a lineup, another double kill for the man, and Sad taking over. Turtle Troop just walked right into Sad's hands.
Really well played there. Darkest and just using all of that breach utility at the perfect times, just waiting to get a little peek to trigger the fault line, and then the aftershock. I mean, that's just a nice setup. Clean anti-eco from Sad. Economy already looking quite good. On a lot of these bonus rounds previously, this is where they'd like to pull out some kind of crazy aggro play with the Yoru, and it looks like perhaps they're going to do something aggressive with Bob. Quick down with the wingman. Last time they did this, it's when they did the tiles crunch, and it looks like they're going to do it again.
Little man.
See if Turtle Troop will be ready this time. They've actually smoked off the mid box and already flashing in as Bob and friends. Sad just marching towards Turtle Troop spawn. Look at all the space being taken by the defense. But Corey puts a cage down to just buy themselves some cover. And now you need to owl drone in your own spawn. That's when you know things are not safe for Turtle Troop.
Yeah, that is tough. They were aware that that push was going to come in. They were playing super passive, so they were able to dodge all that. But yeah, now, as you said, oh my god, Darkest is just wallbanging people with pistols over and over. I mean, how are you supposed to win rounds when that's happening? But yeah, they have to use all this util to re-clear so deep in the map. I mean, look at these positions they have to clear out. This is a great bonus so far from Sad.
Yeah, only up to Weeded and Adder and not having the spike. This was a round not in their control whatsoever. Sad, I mean, Covert, do a little dance, 2 of them in front, and the smoke comes up, but Covert could not get away, and Darkest not ready for the trade, but Turtle Troop
seconds left.
still not a good sign for them. At least you go 1 for 1. You got the spike back, 1v2 for We Did.
Super low HP, and yeah, knowing that there's essentially no chance he can go away, and a smoke remaining. That's tough. Just gonna have to try and find a timing here to get to the site and a TP out, but Skarn is just so ready for that. They know he's got to go B. What a bonus win already. I mean, the Sad economy, they saved all their guns in the second round. Win the bonus. Defense Ascent. I mean, they are rolling.
Yeah, this is not close so far, but you know, Turtle Troop, they wanted to attack. Surely they have something cooked up, so full buy for Sad and already an ult for Darkest, so I'm gonna see if Turtle Troop can gain some kind of map control back and not let Sad just kind of run the place, but gonna leave the spike behind and see what A's looking like.
Skarn has a gate crash back in wine, so they're ready to set up some kind of aggressive A main take here. Okay, just straight through the wall again. Another wall being pistol. Oh my god, Dinko into Darkest as well. All of a sudden, this is super dangerous. Just straight individual skill headshots. Oh my god.
Okay, who needs a full buy when you got Sheriffs and some aim, I guess, but the door will be closed, but Adder makes their way through main. throwing the barrier mesh at the top of heaven. Just, again, a big time waster. Usually they use that around the tree area, but now B-Dog, speaking of trees, gonna try and hold it down and barely wins that 5 HP for B-Dog. And this may just be the first round for Turtle Troop as Darkus is gonna save the weapon.
You can certainly expect this Turtle Troop roster to excel at hitting crazy shots, having individual moments. All the guys on this roster have proved their skill as individual players time and time again. But watching this team throughout the first couple weeks, that has not been the issue. It's the team play devolving in mid to late rounds for them. And if they can get a fix on that main flaw in their game, they should be so well-rounded. The talent here is really some of the best that you have in Challengers.
And a Thrifty, too. You like to see that Turtle Troop are starting to warm up a bit, and maybe it'll be up to Adder with these Gravnets to slow down the aggression of Sad. I kind of saw it at the A main entrance, but it was really hitting Wingman, and that's it. But hey, at least this is not getting too out of hand. Now, 2 ults for the side of Sad Esports. I'm wondering how this Yoru's gonna go.
Yeah, it looks like Skarn's going to take an aggressive PK and then has the gate crash TP and set up with the AWP B after he fires a shot off here.
Everything nice and quiet and slow, except one person, Corey. Just wallbanging through B, seeing what they can get. Owl Drone from Stellar, exploring mid. Didn't get eyes on the back of where Bob is, and that's, you know, Sad like to play deep in the market, so Turtle Troop, they walked up and got pieced up, so they just got to be more aware of that, and also the op is there, and Adder found out the hard way.
Really nicely done from Skarn. Mid is going to be the area of the map oftentimes on this round that is exploitable for the Turtle Troop attack, because the Sad comp has no Sentinel, right? So they have to commit players to actually trying to watch it. And, you know, it's easy when that's the case to miss timings. I mean, look at how passive this angle is that Bob is holding. Like, they are well aware that a player can be all the way up in pizza, which is the case. And it really just comes down to Skarn having good TPs, being able to rotate around the map quickly to help the defenders that are on the site that's being
30
hit.
seconds left.
Yeah, the pressure on Turtle Troop as time is starting to run out. You got a TP from We Did. Now attacking the B side, they just get hit by the Rolling Thunder, slows them down. They have some green box cover, but Turtle Troop running out of time. Now their hand is being forced. It's a bloodbath for B control, and Corey still has the spike. B-Dog is clearing around boats in the backside of B. Corey's gonna go for the plant. Coburg maybe could have prevented it, but decided to be safe and stay in closet. 1v2 for B-Dog. Knows where Coburg is, and through the wall, gets it done. One more left. It's Zoe at boats, and B-Dog could not clean it up.
Turtle Troop just taking so much time to get into the site. That breach ult late for the delay. Zoe gonna... I don't even know where that off is at. Will they have time to pick it up? Does not look like... Oh, it's like all the way in spawn. No. Unfortunate. But yeah, it was really just the slow hit from Turtle Troop that was their undoing, and not actually ever really spotting out that breach, not getting much info on the player position, so just getting boomed by that ultimate and the delay. A nice job from Sad getting set up on that site.
And so far, Sad looked very comfortable on their defense, just playing back, waiting for Turtle Troop to come to them. Rolling Thunder to toss them up and not taking too many risks. And now Skarn is flashing. Now another flash from the breach is Sad infiltrating the offense spawn again. But Turtle Troop not there this time. They're trying to push their way through tree. Bladestorm for B-Dog to avenge their fallen teammates. But Sad comes out ahead, and these fights and Zoe against We Did can break through main. Turtle Troop start bringing the spike towards A, but now having to worry who's at the top of heaven as Bob has a smoke in front of them around tree and lines it up against We Did, and Turtle Troop getting weakened. Only have 2 players left, and the spike gets planted, and it's a 2v2. You got Thrash from Bob, gets shut down, and the rest of Sad are having issues holding on.
Darkest just, just unalive themselves in a video game with their own aftershock. This was a great round, and it's kind of devolved, and now it's on Bob to clutch. And I've seen this happen from this position before, but shut down from Stellar, the experienced IGL. Sad played that round so wonderfully until the end. They just spilled spaghetti all over the A site.
Yeah, I was really confused how Darkest died there. But hey, it's good that Turtle Troop were able to turn around at 2 versus 3. It was kind of messy just trying to get into the A side, but because Sad had really aggressed through B, Turtle Troop had an opening to work with at A.
Skarn had a great TP there again. This Yoru play from him has been really good. It has been the difference maker in this game so far. And frankly, should have been the difference maker in that round. That really should have been a Sad win. Darkest just gets caught out. This is just going to be an anti-eco, and this should be a great opportunity for Turtle Troop to actually really get things rolling on the Ascent attack side. I say that, and Sad are just swinging together, Cat and Mid. Ad are in trouble now as well.
Just an insane flash shot of Bob, which caught We Did in the corner, and Sad collapsed on the targets at the perfect time, so not as obvious. We already had one Thrifty. Let's see if we can have another, but planting is Stellar for Turtle Troop at B. All established, door is closed, and Sad nowhere to come from, and Turtle Troop nowhere to look.
2 rifles recovered. Skarn has a solid amount of utility. Zoe can Brimstone ultimate either clear out B main or backside sewers.
Oh, Hunter's Fury right as Sad are coming through the top of the site. Surely 3 versus 3. And B-Dog defending the site well, even with the teleport and everything, just cutting up Sad as they enter. And Turtle Troop keeping this close.
A really good ultimate from Stellar. Getting that pick really just shuts down Sad wanting to potentially commit the ult on that retake there in the 4v3, just because they did have that weak weaponry and everything. That ultimate could have been a difference maker, but yeah, that really comes down to a great ult from Stellar, just evening things up before the retake effort could come in.
Well, Turtle Troop haven't gone down without a fight. 2 back-to-back rounds, figuring out that once they established at B, they're able to actually defend it, but usually they lose so many bodies once they're just trying to execute a site. But for now, it's a mid approach from Turtle Troop, an early pit from Sad at A. Now Skarn and Friend being aggressive, just fighting for the orb, and Turtle Troop are around the other side. And that'll be where Corey tries to contest as much as possible. Got a drone exploring the tree area, and Adder is being slowed and stunned up. Thankfully, they have the support of Stellar. Turtle Troop have to fight for map control against Sad, and now needing to use the Brim ult from Sad to just stop Turtle Troop's entry.
Ooh. A shot from B-Dog up mid. Again, this is the area of the map that's so exploitable. This comp, they're good at controlling extremities, but they really can't do anything about mid with no sentinel. Oh my god.
Ooh. Okay. The power of the outlaw compels you. Now, the plant. Okay, B-Dog with a third. Turtle Troop, they're just a B type of team. Now there's only 2 left of Coburg and Zoe in there. It's looking like a save angle.
Turtle Troop are doing exactly what they need to do on these rounds. They understand that working up mid, they don't have to worry about trips there. It's on Sad to have to actually face check it to get info, and they're face checking it, into an outlaw. They're playing it really well. They know the win con, and they're going for the win con, and it's working.
Yeah, with a deadlock and a Cypher, there's just so much util Turtle Troop can use to just slow down Sad as they want to overextend, they want to take up space, and Turtle Troop are just wasting their time and doing so well and managed to come back. I think that's what, 3 rounds in a row, so Turtle Troop are on a roll and their economy shows it.
Yeah, I mean, 9 rounds in on Ascent and you're already 4 rounds on attack. You know, you're not fully content, but you do feel to some extent like, all right, we've kind of done our job. Like, we get more rounds on top of this. That's just icing on the cake. Like, this is already solid. It's going to force Sad into the timeout here.
So what would you talk about in the timeout? Like, Sad look like they're being aggressive, but the Turtle Troop are figuring that out, not letting Sad get away with too much. Skarn is being held in check a bit better through these kind of B explorations, but what's there to talk about in this timeout?
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't really have the economy for it, but I did like when Skarn was able to opt with the Yoru. I think ideally, I would like to see them try and have Skarn and Darkus in positions to work together a little bit to re-clear mid, like specifically, even if it's just re-clearing Pizza through market, like having a good time with a fault line, and you know, Skarn can get a swing off that, like a fault line Yoru flash. He gets the peak for the info because they're just not re-clearing mid. And an op would be good for holding mid too. Can place the TP on one of the sites, have Skarn op mid, you know, get a shot off, TP off, or just, you know, even if he doesn't spot anyone, TP to the site where they're at. But the economy isn't online for that yet. So looks like on this one, I wonder if they're going to go back to an aggressive play
Right
down
there.
mid. They are stacked up here.
Got 2 rifles on the Sad side, one for Skarn, one for Coburg, and seeing them play together to at least have eyes and ears on mid, not make this easy. It's Turtle Troop slowly, quietly going through B. There is a Viper wall there from the defense, so needing that to come down. Procking the orb just to see if someone would like immediately swing out of that. Now Turtle Troop can slowly advance towards B. The only one holding that is Darkest. We'll see how long that'll last.
Yeah, they've gone for the bad buy kind of stack, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's even a bit better when you have the aura too, right? Like, you can see the gate crash is just outside of B. So if they don't end up walking into the stack, Skarn could just TP over right away and try and spray through the smokes if a B hit did come in. But it looks like Turtle Troop kind of late into this round now, they may be just walking into this with low time. It's going to be a scary situation if they do.
See how Turtle Troop go in. Paranoia. Can dash
30
in off
seconds
a
left.
B-Dog. Time not on their side. Here's the smoke. B-Dog getting set up. Updraft shifting in and immediately claiming a kill. Jumps on top of Zoe, and Corey follows up with a beautiful double kill. So Turtle
One
Troop
enemy
thought
remaining.
they were safe to plant. Heaven is an issue. B-Dog will clean it up. And Turtle Troop have done enough damage, leaving Darkest in a 1v4. And might as well go down with the ship.
Nicely dealt with. Good site exec. That little grav net to deal with the player in hell was pretty cool, but yeah, that was just good scaling into the site from the team, and it's good to see B-Dog having a pretty electric performance like this so far. I said in the pre-show, I really do think this guy at some point already should have been getting a shot on a tier 1 team. Like, he has proven his worth for genuinely years in this game now, and it just hasn't really come to fruition for him yet, but I mean, again, just showing that this, you know, he's still got it. Also, of note, Skarn has picked up the off, and he is playing in mid right now.
It's like he's listening to you. Let's see if Sad can fully control mid now. Turtle Troop had used this Corey cage before to just force out shots from the defense. Really see how close they are. Are they wallbanging? Are they right at the entry? And once the snake bite clears there from Coburg, Turtle Trooper ready to play off the paranoia. Overwhelmed Coburg. Corey takes the second, uses the neural theft. And Turtle Troop can take up the orb, use the owl drone, and start to pressure site. Turtle Troop walk in, and it was a clone that they shot, I think, but Skarn goes down nonetheless. Turtle Troop closed the door, and they are ready for a plant. The rest of Sad, Zoe, and Bob completely split from each other. Bob doesn't want to save, wants to go through the top of site and wants to wait for Zoe to come through mid, but not a lot of time on their side. And now that Corey puts a cage, Bob says, you know what, never mind, it's all yours.
Yeah, it's time for them to get out of there. They're just going to grab that up into the next one. I mean, 6 rounds for Turtle Troop right now is more than enough for your Ascent attack side. Poor Skarn just got owned in market by, like, they threw up the barrier and put a trip with the barrier, just walks into it, and I mean, just so sad. But really, what that came down to was that we'll see if this op can even be saved. Good shot from Zoe. Bob on the angle as well. All right, so they're going to be able to carry these guns over. The op going to be crucial for these last 2 rounds.
And that kill has Bob now 1 away from Thrash. Always helpful there. Turtle Troop went from being down 4-1 to now being up 6-4. So being able to pick up this many offensive rounds is huge. And speaking of someone huge, you got a Blade Storm for B-Dog. And they're all leaning towards A.
Yeah, this is looking like a big fast exec. When they were playing with the Deadlock on other maps doing this, they had some cool GravNet lineups for these kind of hits as well. Take it a little slow, just clear out A main. They're too far away to actually hear all this noise in mid, but they're gonna quickly find out that nothing's really happening here. They just have to not. Oh my god! I mean, B-Dog is just on fire right now. That's crazy.
That's a crazy shot. If B-Dog is in, you better worry. Turtle Troop only got the 1 kill though. Where is the rest? Close the door on the left. Keep eyes on Heaven. Sad, I mean, just were so aggressive at taking mid control that Turtle Troop were pretty free to take the A side, but the retake ensues. Darkest is dancing around, has the op, and still delivers a deadly blow into B-Dog. And now a Gecko flash does force Adder to the ground. Adder jumping from above, from heaven to hell, and Turtle Troop will send them there. It's a 2 versus 4. Spike about to go off, and it's a team ace for Turtle Troop.
This is some of the best gameplay, if not the best gameplay I've seen from Turtle Troop so far in Challengers. They're really looking good right now. Their team play significantly better. They were really struggling with just the fundamentals in late rounds in the other games, not holding the proper angles for each other, kind of just thinking more individually, and that is just not the case at all right now. So far, this is really the Turtle Troop that you want to see. This is the Turtle Troop that's meeting expectations.
So no one holding A. For Sad, they're gonna do what they did the last round of just rush through B, rush through mid, leave A open. Turtle Troop, no, their spawn is just getting rammed right now. And Yukori is running with his knife. He's getting flashed and he cannot escape. So, 1 Sentinel gone. Turtle Troop at A, already planting. B-Dog in position in Heaven. And Darkest has the Rolling Thunder, ready to set that up for Sad's re-entry through Tree. Oh, but Adder at the perfect time swings and cuts off the tail end of those reinforcements. There's the clone. B-Dog won't fall for it. And now spraying and praying through Turtle Troop, taking control of Glass and Tree. And we did, saving the team with the double kill, but Darkest responds. And it's a 1v1. Spike will be tapped, getting halfway. Adder quiet through the smoke and comes out. But Darkest couldn't bring out the gun in time. And Turtle Troop are on a roll.
Perfect timing from Adder on that swing. And really nice that Turtle Troop, very aware of the breach ult, going to be the catalyst of the retake. The players were taking more forward positions, playing off-site, ready to, in Adder's case, flank, which just essentially nullifies the breach ult, right? Like, it's just not going to hit anybody. That was great positioning from Turtle Troop. Massive advantage here. Now on the favored side, looking the best they've looked in Challengers so far.
Yeah, and that's Sad had a timeout halfway through that half, I guess a quarter way through the game, but it did not happen. It did not help anything. 4 rounds in a row after that. Sad haven't had a response since taking pistol. See if taking pistol here would help Sad get a leg up, and they're thinking about going B, but B-Dog already a headshot through Coburg. Jumping out is Bob. Low HP. Spike is down. Adder with 2. And Sad just get annihilated.
That, it was just dismantled entirely. Adder threw down the barrier at a really nice time that made it awkward for the players to try and run in. The first pick from B-Dog. I mean, god damn, he's going crazy right now. this just looks like a completely re-energized team. Like, they were speaking about how bad they felt after their loss last week, and it seems like that really lit a flame under them. This is just sick gameplay right now.
Now just pistols for Sad. Try to execute quick onto A. Once they grab this orb, I guess. Who knows, though? Now, they've made enough noise at A, so they're going to fake and leave. Lurking over at B side is Coburg, and Turtle Troop aren't taking any risks. They got the mesh barrier blocking up B2, so I wonder where Sad's going to go.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be tough. They are just opting for 2 sheriffs here. Try and get a pick if they can. Get a headshot, and of course, Turtle Troop, they're just content playing this very passively. D-Dog again just spots out Darkest, and seeing the breach there too. That's gonna force Sad away. Kind of an indicator that it was probably gonna be in a hit, right? So like, okay, we have to leave.
He's trying to converge into mid, stomping away. Sad gonna try their way through tree. But yeah, the rifles, or at least the Guardian from We Did, still very powerful at range, so
left.
as long as they control Heaven, this will be hard for Sad, and they want to go through tree, see if they can shake up that defensive control. But now with the cage and the trips, Corey has the hold and can only go 1 for 1.
One enemy
Sad's
remaining.
presence has been felt, and B-Dog ready as the door is still open. Baba's gonna dance and cannot respond. 4 kills for B-Dog that round.
I mean, when you have a Jet playing with that level of confidence, hitting the kind of shots consistently that B-Dog is hitting, you're just gonna have a tough time. Last half, Sad they were able to win their bonus round, and then from there, things just spiraled out of control. We'll see if Turtle Troop can kind of just put the nail in the coffin here and do what Sad did, win the bonus.
Isn't it weird though, because this was Sad's choice of map, and they look much better in other rounds, like 13-10 against M80. They lost that, but still played close. 13-7 they won against Winthrop, and not a scoreline I was expecting. But Sad on the offense, thinking about A, but playing that close though is Weeded, ready for the paranoia. But he'd be solo swinging at that point, so he's gonna fake the TP. Here's the Gecko Flash from Sad. They make their way in through the right, using the clone of Skarn to draw out that attention. B-Dog holds in hell, and Skarn gets the first kill, and the spike was planted so fast out of Sad. As Turtle Troop regroup for the retake, coming through the top side though, they're taking their time as Corey's door is closed in front of him. Owl drone from Stellar to try and figure out what the setup is from Sad. Where they all are, and they're all on site. Zoe jumps up, catches Adder off guard. And Turtle Troop need to play together on this retake. Now they're getting flashed, but now coalescing together to get the kills. It's not impossible for Turtle Troop, but time is running out. The spike is about to go off, and Sad is not letting anyone inside of this site. It's all up to Stellar, and there she goes, Sad, starting a comeback.
Yeah, nice job to win that anti-bonus round. Just a big A exec that caught Weeded in a bad position where he was so close in main, knew he was just going to get rolled by utility, so he had to TP out of there, and then just kind of let B-Dog alone in hell. He was getting mollied. There's just so much util getting dumped in these site execs with this Sad comp. And if they consistently get into the site, I could see the Turtle Troop retakes struggling, given that they don't have that second initiator. They don't have a ton of great retake utility.
Gonna be at least faster on the execute as the Gecko Flash in. Sad. Oh, just get ruined on entry. Corey with 3. As soon as you blink, Corey gets 4. Sad, I can't even believe they planted through this entire mess. It was probably Wingman though, but
Yeah,
either way, Turtle Troop, quick as diffuse.
The Wingman was the best player for Sad on that round for sure.
Not wrong.
Yeah, goddamn. I mean, they were just posted up in perfect crossfires. They just, yeah, we're just gonna meet them at the choke. Like, we're not gonna give them an opportunity to get the spike down and have to play retake. We're just fighting them. And I mean, Corey just going crazy again. This you know, these moments on display where you are reminded that this Turtle Troop team is just so stacked.
Yeah, Blade Storm, Neural Theft, and some tools for SAD, and they've gone for A, and yeah, they can successfully plant, but ideally need to kill in order to protect that spike once it does go down. A Skarn teleport near Market, and that's when Turtle Troop starting to worry about their B defenses. And it will be two holding that down of Adder and Stellar, but SAD will redirect and pivot towards A, thinking they've drawn enough attention from Turtle Troop towards B. Now Thrash from Bob will make it in and knows there's someone at the door, and Darkest ready to swing off a contact. SAD, now a flash, maybe harming We Did, throws out the paranoia in response. The clone from Skarn doesn't draw any attention, and SAD are throwing everything out, and TTR are not biting.
Yeah, a little apprehensive to hit, and with Coburg and B main, they feel like it's a wiser decision to just rotate off and try and hit B after making all of that noise, which is the case. They drew the rotates to A. So it's just going to be on Adder here and Stellar to try and spray through the smoke with the Odin, which obviously Odin's pretty good at that.
All right, Thrash got stuck off the trip, and the orbital strike lets it rain, and SAD have established themselves now on B without losing anyone, and they've cleared Closet. They are set up for the plant. Zoe will do that. And Turtle Troop have 4 to retake, including Stellar with an Odin.
And Darkest in B main here is going to be crucial. Just delaying, wasting time, and going for the late pinch when Turtle Troop are going to the site. Like, look at this. They're going to have to waste all this time just trying to clear him out.
Fault line. Oh, but it took too long for SAD to coordinate it. B-Dog snuff it out. Now Turtle Troop taking their time to advance towards the site, knowing they're in Closet. We Did gets the second. Stellar rains down on 2. And now the defuse ensues. Turtle Troop, they have enough time, should be good, and there it is with 1 second to spare. It is match point for Turtle Troop.
Great retake there. B-Dog just contacting into B main, hoping to find the perfect timing to get the kill there, and does so. Again, this guy is just putting on a wild performance. It was a cool site exec from SAD. You know, they had the Thrash to clear out back site, and then they used the Brimstone ultimate back in B main, right, to just nullify that position. Like, that's where Stellar was going to be with the Odin spraying through the smoke and just couldn't do so. So they got clean into the site. But again, Turtle Troop, it's these situations where they were struggling so much in the previous 2 weeks, especially against Winthrop. Late in the rounds, players, things just devolving, the fundamental gameplay going out the window. But here, their coordination is just so much better. And Stellar's util on the retake was perfect. Again, this is just a totally different team.
Look how happy Adder is.
The balance.
Balance. Gotta be happy if you're playing Deadlock. Of course. But this is also such a big turnaround for Turtle Troop. Just the wake-up call they got when they, was it lost to Winthrop? Or just had some disappointing results in general. And to make SAD look like this on Ascent is a statement to make for Turtle Troop. How series both well, and it's their map. It's SAD's map pick too. So Turtle Troop looks strong.
They really came into this knowing exactly how to exploit this comp from SAD. Like in the case of M80, they did not expect this to come out, and it's way harder to deal with it on the fly.
No hard feelings.
But Turtle Troop are just so prepared for this. I mean, they knew exactly how to shut this comp down in the first half, and now they're just running away with it. They're on the verge of the win.
Yeah, SAD look a little bit like they've given up when they're just staggering one by one into Turtle Troop, who play back into mid. And SAD have had good execs like you said, but in terms of the post play, it's a bit more difficult than just the clutch power that Turtle Troop have, like Corey, B-Dog, having incredible performances. We definitely hyped up the right people on the desk, but SAD could use a bit of hype. 4 versus 3 in favor of the defense, and it's only getting worse. Bob and Darkest working together. Bob comes out by themselves, picks up the kill, and the rest. Darkest coming through mid. Got Wingman planting, didn't clear closet, so this is looking scuffed for Sad.
Poor Wingman. B-Dog finishes it off with a kill. What is that, like his 24th of the game? 25th of the game? Something like that. I mean, just a sick performance from him. Like, I mean, I just kept saying it at the end, but that is like a brand new Turtle Troop. That is so much better than their play last week. It's not even comparable.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. And I feel like mental was a big part of that, considering they went to 2 timeouts and there wasn't like a big change, especially near the end. Like, there's always a way to come back until that score hits 13. And sad, it felt like slowly they were losing gas and definitely being caught playing against a composition maybe they're not used to and not knowing how to deal with it.
Yeah, that as well. I mean, this another interesting comp. I respect the experimentation from the Turtle Troop side, and they really like Deadlock. I don't think it was doing... It certainly wasn't the crux of them winning. I mean, it had a couple good moments, like well-timed. I think it was on the pistol that Adder threw down the barrier in B main and cut some players off. Like a couple of the grav nets were getting value, but you know, and there was also on B, he had this setup where he put both sonic sensors in lane. So if the hit comes in there, that's just obnoxious. Like, you're getting double fault line in that area. So some cool stuff, but it definitely was not the reason for the win. It was the team play that was so lacking in late rounds last week against Winthrop was excellent on this first map. Now it's just a question of going into Sunset, where they debuted the Deadlock last week, if they're going to be able to make the appropriate changes to win this time around.
And we'll see if they'll be able to do that. It is series point for Turtle Troop after a big win on Ascent. We're going to throw it to a quick break, and when we get back, we'll have Sunset.
Tell me what the call out is, and then tell me if you had to rename it, what you would rename it.
Rename it? Oh, bro, this is like impossible to rename.
Kitchen. What would you rename this? I don't know. This is a tough one.
This call out's Kitchen for sure. A lot of people have been calling this Kitchen ever since the beginning of the game, so I'm glad this one stuck around.
Kitchen, pretty much the best call.
Kitchen. I call it Milk, same playing field, but a little different, a little switch up, if you will.
I mean, I call it Kitchen.
Call this Kitchen. You could call it Lab. Lab is shorter than Kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, this is called Kitchen, and it's pretty infamous because, it's literally a kitchen.
Oh yeah, it's Kitchen. I think we're banning this map too, so.
My team calls this Kitchen. I could call this Coffee.
Obviously, this is Kitchen.
There's a lot of food there, so maybe I just rename it to like Leftovers, maybe? I feel like Leftovers would go hard.
Oh, this is Kitchen. What if you just called it Diet Milk?
I mean, that's Kitchen, and it will forever be Kitchen.
Everybody just calls it like Tree. I'm not gonna be the creative one on this one. This one's just too simple.
All right, this call out's Tree.
This is Tree. I don't know, man. I feel like this one's like really simple. It's like hard to use anything else.
Probably gonna have to keep it Tree, just because like there's only one thing in this room.
Yeah, okay, this is Tree.
This is Tree?
Team calls this Tree. There's hearts on the ground next to the door, so I could call it Heart.
This is Tree. Or you can call it Gaia's Vengeance Vandal because it's the same tree as the one you use on there.
I'll be creative. Let's call this Maple, because I'm from Canada and it's a big maple tree.
Well, I mean, we call it Tree, but if I had to rename it, I'd say Hell because I hate that room.
What could you rename this? Call it Autumn.
Everyone calls this Tree. Personally, I always liked calling this something else. Go like Jungle.
Oh, alright, Tree. You got that path on the ground. Maybe you could go Cobblestone or something.
I would say Tiles is probably the most common.
I think everyone calls this Tiles in NA at least. Not sure what else people would call that, to be honest.
Tiles. Call it like Garden.
We've been calling this Tiles. Maybe we could call it Plant.
It's pretty obvious why it's called Tiles because, all the tiles and stuff. But if I was to change this call out, maybe Plants.
Oh yeah, this is Tiles. We can call this whole area Squid Bite because there's squid on the wall.
Tiles or maybe Flower Pot.
So I have Tiles here. You can name it like second mid maybe because there's like the big mid on the left.
I actually don't like this call for Tiles, bro. I'd rather call this like Garden. Like, look at this. Like, this kind of looks like a garden.
You could definitely
probably just change this to, like plants is a good one. Jungle, something like that. I didn't even realize like until now.
Garden, maybe? Garden would make sense.
I just can't think of a better word that describes it than tiles.